What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video we are going to be talking about another beautiful philodendron called as the Philodendron Moonlight. Now a lot of people also call this as Philodendron Moonshine. So Moonshine and Moonlight is one and the same philodendron. Please don't get confused, you might end up getting the same variety. So both of the variety have been called moonshine as well, but it's moonlight. Now it's an extremely easy to grow philodendron, just like any other philodendron, but this one tends to get really large leaves at a very juvenile form itself. Tends to grow as a self-header. It's not a climber nor a crawler. Absolutely stunning, tends to grow even more wide as and when it starts to mature. So let's start off with the light. As you can look at the leaves, they are more on the green shade, so it prefers a good amount of indirect bright light. Maybe early morning before 9 a.m. mild direct sunlight is absolutely fine, but do not expose it to long hours of direct sunlight, especially afternoon direct sunlight, otherwise the leaves will get burnt. This plant can be grown in a little bit of less light, but that does not mean that you can keep this plant in low light. The plant will offer a good amount of indirect bright light. Probably if you're growing it indoor, keep it closer to the windowsill where it receives ample amount of light. Talking about the soil mix, I tend to use the same soil mix, which is a mix of coco peat, garden soil, sand and perlite. They prefer loose, porous, well-draining soil mix, yet which retains a slight amount of moisture. They do not like to be sitting in dry soil. So the coco peat is going to provide that slight amount of moisture. Garden soil will give the basic nutrients and minerals. Sand is going to make the soil mix well-draining. I have also used pumice, but pumice is optional. It's not necessary that you have to add it. Now, whenever you are watering, ensure you check the soil. If you see around 1 to 2 inch of the upper layer of soil is dry, go ahead and do a complete watering until the water starts passing through the drain hole. Do not keep the soil dry for a very long time. Philodendrons are not drought tolerant plants. They are tropical plants which grow in warm and humid environment. But this plant will do well in average humidity as well. Temperature anywhere between 18 degrees Celsius up to 36 degrees Celsius is going to work out really well. Now, as I've said this earlier, ideally philodendrons do not get affected much with pest. The only pest that it might get affected is spider mite. So always turn the leaves and check if there are any insects. If you tend to see any kind of attack on the plant, go for your neem oil spray. It will take care of it. Always do a visual check once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks. Fertilizers can be added during the warmer months, which is during the summer season. You can go once a month with the feeding. You can feed it with vermicompost, compost, seaweed liquid fertilizer. Anyone will do quite well. Please do not use fertilizers during the winter season. And another important thing, whenever you are adding any kind of fertilizer, whether it's a liquid or a solid fertilizer, always ensure that the soil is moist before adding any fertilizer. Adding of fertilizers on dry soil can be quite dangerous. It can burn the roots, so you do not want to do that mistake. Now, as I said, talking about propagation, the best way to propagate, because these are self-headers, you can do a cutting. There are going to be nodes present on this. You can do a cutting like that, or you can separate the offshoots, whichever is available. After doing the cutting, you can directly put it into the soil, or you can put it in water, because most of these already have aerial roots, so you do not need to be worried about the rooting process. The roots are already present. We only have to increase them either by putting it in soil or in water. Talking about, is this plant toxic? Yes, philodendrons are toxic if the leaves are ingested, so ensure you're keeping this plant away from the reach of small children and pets. Overall, it's a very easy to grow plant. If you want to create a jungle effect, this is one of the plant you can definitely add it in your collection. Tends to grow very wide, as I said, kind of creates a very beautiful green space, so you can definitely add it in your collection. Very low maintenance even if you are a beginner. In gardening, this is one plant you can add in your collection, which is readily available in garden centers and nurseries. You can definitely check it out and add it in your collection. It's not rare or it's not super common, but it will be available. If not in your local nursery or in your garden center, online you can definitely find this plant. So that's about it, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.